COVID-19, that is coronavirus infection, was, sorry, coronavirus pandemic, popularly known as COVID-19, has led to serious health issue for the civilized world. The one of the important cure we had was social distancing. This has forced to the world to shut down their economic activities. Closing down of the economic activities is supposed to affect the economic growth. International Monetary Fund estimates a fall in the growth rate of the world economy by 3% in 2020. This fall in the global economic growth during pandemic is said to be the highest after the Great Depression. India, being a globalized economy, was also assumed to be affected by this pandemic. These are some historical background of the COVID-19 that impacted on the Indian and what were these are the some responses of the government at that time. And coming to the data analysis part that is presented in a table. So the period of 2012 and 17 and 2017 and 20 are considered as the pre-pandemic period, and 2020, 21 and 2021 and 2022 are considered as the post-pandemic period for the present paper. The data presented in the table gives a sector-wise growth rate of economy for the quarter 1 April to June. From the table, it can be observed that Indian economy has been very successfully recovered from the pandemic shock and started maintaining the almost same growth rate in the post-pandemic period as compared to the pre-pandemic period in the sector like agriculture, forestry and fishing, mining and quarrying and manufacturing, particularly in the year 2021 and 22. In fact, manufacturing sector has started performing better than the pre-pandemic period. The sector like financial, real estate and professional services as well, come to the table part. No, in which the data is presented in tabular form. In pandemic, the growth rate of this sector has remained negative even after the end of the pandemic. In the next year, though it has become positive, but remained much lower than the pre-pandemic period. Coming to the next slide.
Please go ahead. Don't waste the time.
Yeah. Unemployment scenario in pre and post-pandemic period. The level of unemployment is directly linked with the growth performance of economy. A country with the rapid economic growth is capable of creating more jobs for the economy and vice versa. The data about the unemployment is in India during the pandemic and post-pandemic period is available in the table 2. It can be seen from the table 2 that the emergence of coronavirus infection in India has led to a massive rise in unemployment level. In January, the level of unemployment at all India level was 7.22% and reached to 8.8% in March. The situation became worst after lockdown and the level of unemployment at all India level approached to 23.52% in April. The month of May, a fall is registered in the level of unemployment because of the permission of the intra-state transport services and injection of huge amount of money under the Manrega schemes. But throughout the pandemic period, unemployment rate has always been higher in urban areas as compared to the rural areas, showing the fact that productive capacity of urban area has been badly affected by the pandemic. When we consider the unemployment in pre and post-pandemic period, unemployment on all India basis has declined in the post-pandemic period. The highest decline in the unemployment rate is observed in the month of April and May when the unemployment rate was highest during the pandemic period. This sharp fall may have been realized by large amount of fiscal stimulus the government have announced as bailout package during the unlocking of the economic activities. Summing to the points, India, summing to the point, India's economic growth has not only declined but has become negative and in fact highest among the G20 group of countries. This has very strong impact on the level of employment generation because of the construction of the productive capacity of economy on the employment rate has increased in India and reached to a peak level of 23.52%. However, the effort of government, both state and center, have played a commanding role in reducing the rising level of unemployment. The only cure is the adoption of right policy that can make a dent on the negative effect of the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Now, we have a third presenter, Mr. Rajat Saxena. See, after this question answer session, we will just take after the all presentation, and then I will conduct this question answer session. All this thing, all the presenters will be there here. No one is going. Okay, then we will do that. I request all the listeners, please write down your queries, your questions, your suggestions, your observations with the name of presenter, and end of all the presentation, we will have the 15 to 20 minute session of the question hour session. Is it clear? Okay.
Good afternoon all. Present over here, guests, delegates, and students of this precious college. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to present my paper in this national conference. I'm Rajat Saxena from Department of Applied Economics, University of Lucknow. I'm pursuing my PhD under guidance of Rachna Mujju ma'am. I am here to present my paper, Role of Indian Railways in COVID-19 Pandemic Management. So I will start with introduction. I request you to please change the slide. Okay. So as we all know that Indian Railways is a statutory body that operates India's national railway system under the Ministry of Railways, Government of India. As of 31st March 2022, it runs the world's fourth largest national railway system with a huge total route length of 68,043 kilometers, that is 42,280 miles. A running track length of 1,02,831 kilometers and a track length of 1,28,305 kilometers. As of 1 April 2023, 58,812 kilometers of all the gauge routes have been electrified with 25 kV 50 hazard AC electric tractions. Financial year 2020 has been a year of grit and victories. Coming on to the next slide, objectives of my paper mainly focuses on identifying the Indian Railways' contribution to fighting the coronavirus pandemic. The main objective of the research paper are as follows. First, to explore Indian Railways guidelines during the COVID-19 pandemic. Second is to identify the contribution of Indian Railways during the COVID-19 pandemic. And third is to identifying initiatives taken by the Indian Railways for the well-being and maintenance of employees. The methodology that I have incorporated here is descriptive analysis and tries to understand how Indian Railways have coped up with the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. The study is based on secondary data and sourced from Ministry of Railways and the Press Information Bureau. Next slide, please. Okay, so coming to the measures that were taken prior to outbreak, not